Nervousness in a job interview affects pretty much everyone, but if you're experiencing alopecia, then it's not unlikely for you to be extra nervous about your interview. So I'm going to share six tips that I have for rocking job interviews with alopecia, whether you want to tell them or not. Number one is kind of a bonus tip. It's put it on your resume. If you're a part of an alopecia support group, or you consider yourself a bit of a leader of alopecia in your community or a role model to somebody, definitely put it on your resume, because this will help you in a couple of ways. Number one, if they don't know what it is, they can Google it, and that will save you the time of explaining it, which is, not always the greatest or most fun thing to do. So it'll do that. And number two, it gives you, if you feel that it will come up in the interview, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, if you feel that it will come up, just putting it on your resume, it just makes it easier to bring it up, because they can just bring it up to you. They can be like, oh, I saw that you wrote this, and then if they want to speak about it. If they don't want to speak about it, then they don't want to speak about it, not a problem. But it's a really, really good talking point. And I have a good point on that in a couple of tips. So we'll come back to the talking point of alopecia. Number two is just do research. Like any other job interview, if you're feeling a little bit nervous, going in prepared will help you manage that. You'll feel more confident in your ability to perform well in the interview, and for the interview to go well if you go in having done research on the company, the position, the company's values, its goals, that type of thing. And it can also be really helpful to do some research on what the uniform requires are, because depending on the position that you're going for, you might be feeling a little bit nervous about your hair and what the uniform is going to require. So you can just do a little bit of research and figure out, okay, what could the uniform situation possibly be? It's also important to recognize that even though in a way you're being put on the spot, you need to do your research to understand, is this a company that I want to be working for? Is this actually something that's going to fit in with my values, my lifestyle? It's important that you feel really comfortable in your job. Like, you deserve it. And you're totally capable of getting a job that you feel really good at. So do your research, make sure that it's something that you want to be there, you generally want to be there. And then move on to step three. Step three is just to decide what you would like to wear. This includes, and I really recommend deciding it the day or the days before, because if you wake up in the morning and you're feeling a little bit nervous, it's really helpful to counteract that anxiety prior by just getting into action and choosing your clothes and what you're going to wear on your head, as well as on the morning. You don't have to worry about it, right? You don't have to stress over it. So choose what you'd like to wear. Try to dress to impress. Not super casual, dress to impress. Most importantly, decide, would you like to wear a wig? Would you like to wear a scarf? Would you like to wear a turban? Would you like to wear nothing? There is absolutely no right or wrong, and you don't have to. It might be easier if you know that you don't want to wear your hair when you're working with them. It might be easier just to kind of go in straight away, not wearing your hair. And if you do want to wear it, then go in straight away and wear it. Sometimes that can be easier, instead of then like switching and maybe needing to explain why you switched if you don't want to explain why you switched. So that's kind of a general rule. But again, you do you. You're gonna rock it. Which kind of leads me to number four. Cultivate confidence. Cultivate confidence not only on the day and the days before, but truly find a practice so that you can begin to bring in more self-trust, which is what confidence is. Whether that be through taking action or being something, embodying something. Whether that be through working with affirmations, depth psychology, journaling, working with a therapist or a coach or something, find your confidence, your deep confidence, right? Work with that. Bring that confidence with you, because it's going to radiate outside of you. It's this whole energy that radiates that they are going to be able to feel. And you want them to feel that, right? Everyone likes that. My fifth tip is to actually consider sharing your story. So if you've written alopecia on your resume, it might be an easy way to go into it. And if you haven't, maybe it comes up, or maybe you'd like to share it. The way that I really think is a great way to share it is actually by, you know, when they ask you the question, what are your strengths? It's really great to work it in, because you can say something like, my experience with alopecia has given me fantastic, like I'm very good at working. I'm trying to think of normal interviews. My experience with alopecia has given me the tools to communicate even when I'm feeling emotional, or to become very, very resilient, or to perform in high pressure environments, or to create empathy and understanding for other people. Obviously, it's going to depend what the field of your work in, which skill is going to be applicable, and also what has your experience with alopecia helped you? How have you become stronger? Have you become more determined? Have you become more passionate? Has it helped you understand what is truly important in life? How can you apply this to your career, to this job? And how can you show them just how powerful and wonderful you are through that question, and at the same time sneak your story in, so we've talked about the elephant in the room, we don't have to talk about it again. In saying that, number one, you're not actually obligated to tell your employer about your alopecia. You don't have to. And number two is, if we do mention it, be prepared for there to be some follow-up questions. And you're absolutely within your right to say, you know, like, let's talk about this at another time. Let's just keep this focused on X, Y, Z. But just know, people are genuinely pretty curious. So they may ask some questions, and you might want to be prepared. I have some other videos to help you out with the conversations about alopecia. Number 6 is ask questions. Ask questions. Remember your innate worth and your amazing skills. Ask questions. Confidently, calmly, ask questions about maybe the uniform. What's the work culture environment? What is going to be expected of you? Show that you're curious, show that you're invested, and show that you understand the value of your work and your time and your presence. You're gonna do amazing. Make sure that you are subscribed and that you get updates for when I have new videos like this to help you manage your hair loss journey.